Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about my experience writing the IELTS. So I had 1 week to write this exam because I needed it to apply for something. I looked at the next possible dates, and I think it was a week from 8th March, and I was like, I needed this thing instantly because the thing I was applying for was it was on the 15th of March. I looked at the next available dates. I got the dates, and I was like, this is so soon. It's 8th March, because if I didn't get 8th March, the next possible one is 12th March, and the IELTS takes like 3 to 5 days to come. So I registered, and I had a week to prepare. I took it very seriously for the first day, second day. Like I tried some. So the IELTS is basically in 4 parts. If you don't know about the exam, so I took the test, and I think I was actually in the proceedings to the test. I was scared because like I've always trusted my English skills, but I mean it was a scary thing because I didn't know what to expect. I took some tests on the IELTSonline.com and even the standard website for IELTS, and I was scoring like 6.5, and I was very disappointed because I needed a minimum of 7 to get what I was trying to get for. But I mean, I've always trusted myself, and I've trusted God most importantly. So I knew, like, I was scoring around 7.5 for the English test. The listening was calm, right? So 7.5, occasional 6.5. The reading is my skills. It was okay. Listening, reading, writing as a basic. Speaking, you can't really practice speaking because unless maybe your day-to-day, like speak to yourself and know the criteria and stuff. So fast forward to the day of the test, right? I had done my practice and everything, and then I go to the British Council. My test is supposed to start around 12, and the usher has like some rooms where we are going to have a one-on-one speaking with a external invigilator. So people who are in the UK, Scotland, Australia, New Zealand. So you talk to someone like on a laptop. You enter a room, you talk to someone on a PC, not a laptop, a PC, right? Question. So it's in parts. They'll ask you part 1, like talk about yourself. What's this? I think they asked me about buildings. First, they asked me my name, of course. They asked me what I do. I told them I'm a civil engineer by profession. I'm a civil engineer by not by profession yet, but yeah, they asked me, and then from there they asked me whether I take pictures of buildings, and I was like, yeah, I take pictures of buildings. Not he asked me. I take pictures of buildings, and I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, are the buildings in my area tall or whatever? And I was like, the areas in my building, the buildings in my area are of okay height. And then from there, he started asking me like, so the second part was to describe a movie that I had recently watched and who I watched it with. So yeah, I said I've watched recently. I think that time I had watched Black Mirror. You should watch that. You should watch Black Mirror. Well, I'm on a Christian journey now, so you shouldn't watch Black Mirror because that's bad for you, right? So I explained Black Mirror. I explained my experience with it and how it. I was happy because I had watched the movie the night before the test, so I talked about that. And then from the Black Mirror, I also talked about so part 2. So part 1 they ask you personal things. Part 2 they ask you to talk about something for about a minute. So I talked about it for about 2 minutes. I talked about it for a minute and a half, and I think I stopped because I read somewhere that I shouldn't be talking plain. You actually just feel free, honestly. They will stop you on this time. So then the part 3 in the speaking test is they ask you questions based on what you answered in part 2. So then he starts asking me like my perspectives on entertainment and whether entertainment is important. What about people who prioritize entertainment over their careers? What about people who prioritize their career over entertainment? I think I gave good answers. I mean, I gave okay answers. I talked about the best about how I understood the issue, and I was like, I feel entertainment is good, but at the same time, you need to find a balance. You can't be too serious. You can't be too. So speaking test was done. Took me back to the waiting room around 1 o'clock. Then they called me and the people inside for the other parts. That's the writing, the listening, and the reading. So you start with the listening test, and then the audio and everything plays. So the listening test was easier than what I had expected. It was quite easy. Reading was good too. Reading was as expected. The writing for the first part, it was actually like, I think I was supposed to. I was given two graphs, and the two graphs I was supposed to write about. So it was Melbourne, and then it was Darwin, and Melbourne and Darwin. I was supposed to. There was temperature graph for Melbourne and Darwin, and there was daily hours of sunlight for Melbourne and Darwin. And you're supposed to look at the two of them and then write something to describe it. So I started the thing, and I was going to describe one graph, like I was going to describe like the temperature and then the temperature and the daily hours of sun for Melbourne, and come and do the temperature and the daily hours of sun for Darwin. But as I was doing it, it wasn't wrong. But as I was doing it, I felt like no, I should rather do temperature Melbourne and Darwin first, and then come and do daily hours of sun Melbourne and Darwin. Right. So I changed mid writing. You're supposed to spend only 20 hours. Hey, did I say 20 hours? No, I'm capping. You're supposed to spend 20 minutes on that, and then you move 40 minutes on the remaining section. So I ate into my time about 25 minutes. So I was left with about 35 minutes, right? But I still managed to finish the writing part. The writing part I was supposed to write about like how a multicultural company is good or it's bad, and I chose advantages. Eventually, it didn't take even 2 days. I wrote the test on Sunday and it came on Tuesday. The results came out and I was astonished, in fact. But I had a perfect score in listening. I had a 9 in listening. I had a 9 in listening, and I had never gotten a 9 during the listening test. My practice, I only got like highest I got was an 8. I was getting 7 and 7.5. I got an 8.5 in reading, and for that I expected it because like my reading is good. It was my strongest skill. Well, listening was actually my strongest skill. I was just reading was like during the test I had an 8 in reading there. So, during my practice test, so I wasn't surprised when I saw 8.5 in the actual test. Then for speaking I had an 8, and with speaking just go and then be you and just talk, because like in Ghana we already are native speakers of English. Just go and talk and express yourself. You might even score higher, because I fumbled a bit. Right? I scored every mark except from 7.5 on the scale, and my total mark was 8. So I was thankful to God, because like wow, I mean I wasn't even expected to get a 7. I thought I would even get below. I was even thinking that if I'll do work I'll get 7.5, and I got an 8, and I was thankful to God. Had my writing been better, I could have scored 8.5 or a 9, but I'm still grateful to God, So what are my tips to you? You could reach out like if you need better tips. But what I can tell you is that, first of all, when you listen, right, make sure you write what you hear. Don't add anything that you don't hear, right? With listening, if you miss one, just keep going, right? And usually when you are doing the practice tests are more difficult than the actual test, because the listening, the one that I did at the center, was seamless. Because during practice I was missing, like I'll miss one and have to rush and go to the next one, but then I'll still be thinking about the old one. Right? But during the actual thing, it was perfect. I didn't miss anything. Everything was moving smoothly, and the test was much simpler. Then comes to reading. Reading is you. Like you control the time. You are the one who is reading. So me, I'm a fast reader, right? But like you just need to get comfortable reading and picking the ideas from there. Reading is the easiest, because for me, you are controlling the tempo, right? So read at your own pace. You see, the whole thing about IELTS is to test your ability to organize ideas and your ability to be coherent for them to understand you. So you need to make sure that like your writing is very put together, and it's not about the fanciness of the English that you're using. It's about the ability to communicate what you want to communicate. And hope all goes well. You smash it.